1957, Frank Sinatra sang a song called All the Way. It was a song about enduring love. It was an Oscar award-winning song. In the 1,235 songs that he sang, it was in the top 20. Matter of fact, it was number 18. And it went like this. If somebody loves you, it's no good unless they love you all the way. Happy to be near you, to help and to cheer you all the way. And who knows what tomorrow brings? Only a fool would say. So if you let me love you, it's for sure I'm going to love you all the way. All the way. No disrespect, Mr. Sinatra, I just had to sing that last part. Beautiful song. And it goes the way most of our love songs go. It's not about a broken heart. It's not about loving partially. It's about finding that true love and having it last a lifetime. In 1590, there was another notable man called Shakespeare that wrote a sonnet. It was actually his most famous sonnet. And again, it was about the subject of enduring love. It was Sonnet 116, and I'm not going to quote the whole part of it, but it's Shakespeare said it in kind of a reverse way, saying love is not love if. And he wrote it this way, the section that I wanted to talk about. He said, love is not love if it alters when alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Lo, it is an ever-fixed star that looks upon tempests and is not shaken. And I really like the part at the end where he says, if this not be true and upon me is proved, then I never wrote. He said, writ. I never writ, and never a man loved. Pretty strong, powerful words. What does that beginning mean? Love is not love if it alters when alteration finds. What that means is, in a relationship, if something changes, if like you married somebody and they're rich, and all of a sudden maybe the investments go sour and they're not rich anymore, that the love you have for them would not change. If they were not so handsome as the years went by and that slim, trim physique started to fade away as the years went by, or like I see a lot of times on the dating sites, it's, like looking for somebody who plays pickleball, or looking for somebody who dances, or looking for somebody who kayaks. So you find somebody and they do all those things or one of the other things that you want, and then maybe later on down the line they go, I want to play soccer, or I want to play golf, or I just want to take walks. If you're so dead set on having those things and having somebody have them, if something alters in the relationship, you go, no, I still love you. If it's tied up into money, or it's tied up into all these things that you have to have as activities, and you walk away from that person, it was never love. The second part of what he said is really actually very strong and almost counterculture. But he says that love is not love if it bends with the remover to remove. And that means, actually, if somebody takes themselves out of the relationship and they decide to leave and they bend off another direction, that if somebody really loves them, they don't change their position on that. Maybe they lose that person for good. Maybe they wait in the wings and see if they come back. And maybe they have to go on with their life, but they never really lose the love that they had for that person. Now, some people would say, hey, get over it and go find somebody else. But true love doesn't, quote unquote, get over it. Imagine that you had kids and they went off another direction. They decided not to talk to you for years or maybe ever again. Would your love for your children cease? It's the same thing. True love does not bend with the remover to remove. And so again, that's this. Frank Sinatra is this love found in music. Shakespeare is this concept of love found in literature and writing. And going all the way back to 900 BC, there was a king who was very wise, and he wrote down a lot of wise sayings, and they came to be what we call the Proverbs. And there's two that I like that especially speak on this subject of endearing love. One is Proverbs 20, verse 6, and it says, many people talk about an undying love, but a faithful person who can find? That's a tremendous statement. We start out saying we love somebody, but that love needs to be tied with faithfulness, and we can do that. But Solomon says, hey, and maybe looking at his culture, he said, hey, who can find a faithful person that will love that enduring love? The second one is probably one of the most oft-quoted proverbs in Christianity, at least wherever I go in churches or all the years that I've been around churches and people and gatherings. This seems to come up all the time, and it's Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. And it goes like this. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but in everything you do or in all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. He's going to be right with you, and he's going to help you, and he's going to direct those paths that you take. It's interesting to me that the two verses that come before that I believe tie into those two verses, Proverbs 3 and 4, speak of this undying love. And it goes something like this. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind it around your neck. Write it on the tablet of your heart. Or one version says scribe it, like etching it into stone. Scribe it upon the tablet of your heart. For in doing so, you will find favor with God and with man. And then it would go on to say, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Hey, if the relationship gets difficult, trust him. Lean not to your own understanding. Well, I figure that things are getting tough and maybe I should bail, or this doesn't appear to be what I want. That verse would say, don't lean to your own understanding. Acknowledge him in all your ways, even in your marriage. He will guide and he will direct you. So how does this work? How do we work out an undying love? Anyone can start, and I'm actually of the opinion that all of us can finish. And one of the ways I think that we can do that that's very important would be to make a wise choice up front of a partner to be with. And oddly enough, I think most people have made a wise choice. I think what happens a lot of times is they get unsure, or they get uncertain about the future, or maybe they think that they can do better, like this particular society we're in seems to advertise that, like, there's something better out there for you. But I think most people have made a wise choice, and the concept is just to stay with your choice. Work it out and be faithful to it. Kind of like in relationship to this is when we have children, it's just kind of a rolling of the dice. We don't know what they're going to look like. We don't know if they're going to be male or female. We don't know if they're going to be tall, if they're short. We don't know if they're going to be super wise or maybe have some learning challenges. We don't know if they're going to be handsome or regular or whatever. We hope they're healthy, but we don't even know that too. We don't know what their goals and ambitions are and what their drive is. There's just so much about children that we don't know, but we go ahead and have the decision to have them. And the interesting thing is, regardless of how it comes out, we love our kids. So given that, if I have the ability to make a choice, why does that seem such a hard thing to be committed to? One was no choice, completely not knowing what I would get and still loving what I have. And the other one is having the ability to make a choice and staying behind that choice. I like what a gentleman named T.D. Jakes said in relation to this. Is he said, I'm somebody's child. I was somebody's baby. Why don't I deserve that kind of love? We do. Some people think it's different. Well, it's my kids, and it's different. I don't see that at all. I don't see it as being different at all. So just remember that finishing is very, very important. When I went to college, I had the presence of mind before I went into college to realize that if I was in a job interview someday, or I was seeking to work for somebody that they wouldn't, that I would have to have finished, they wouldn't go, well, how many credits do you have? Or how far did you get? They're only interested in, did I finish? They're not even going to be interested really in what kind of grades that I got. Or maybe my attendance, although all those things are important, but nobody's going to ask me about that. They're just going to ask, did you finish or did you not? And I made up my mind early on to, if I started college, I was going to finish it. And by grace, I did. It's just that important. There's a couple that I know at church that I used to go to church with, named Don and Carol. I don't think you're ever going to meet them, so they don't probably mind me using their name. But I sat with them one Sunday morning, and getting to know them, I found out that they had been married for 44 years. And so I asked them, I said, well, how did you do that? And Don turned to me and he looked at me and he said, you just don't quit. Profound, but true. There's a final thing in closing that Solomon wrote, and it goes like this. It says, better is the end of a thing than the beginning, and better is the patient in spirit than the proud. That second part might give us another key as to how it takes to have a long-lasting love, is to be patient. Doesn't mean we have to put up with abuse, or doesn't mean that we have to be in suffer a bad relationship, but basically in the day-to-day realm of things together as a couple, to just be patient with each other and hear each other out and extend a little forgiveness up front. It goes a long way. So it's always our aim to have people stay in their marriages. And again, love will be love if it lasts till the end. My name is Ken Conley. I'm the author of a book called The Forgotten Option. It is always our goal to be encouraging and to help people in their relationships to have it last for a lifetime. Thanks for listening.